be at risk of losing my leg. I was devastated.
The cloudy skies, cool air through about sunset tonight. Then we begin to clear out the cloud cover, and by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, seeing more sunshine. I know we're all a little concerned coming off such a heat wave a few days ago. I don't see any intense heat like that. I'll let you know when we cool right back down in the full AccuWeather forecast. David?
All right, thank you, Danny. Well, the main rain has moved on, but the Hudson Valley was hit hard yesterday by storms.
Rushed into a church the same day as Parton's 81st birthday, and I was in a movie with Dolly Parton.
Well, excuse me. Well, drop that on us.
Worked on the movie. Can I say this on TV?
Yes.
Best Little Whorehouse in Texas? Yeah.
Oh, what's the movie?
Long story. Oh, gosh, we got to talk.
Oh, my gosh.
What role did you play?
Can we...
We'll talk after Danny.
Why are you laughing?
I mean, it's hard to shock me more than Dolly Parton is doing a show on Broadway.
Oh, believe me,
she did.
You might be able to see me, but it wasn't that kind. I was in college. I'll tell you guys all about it later.
Oh, now you're more intrigued.
Right.
Oh, man, I cannot wait for that Dolly show. She said that there are some new songs that she wrote in the show as well as some of her hits. So I'm really looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting rid of this as well. Clearing out the cloud cover, dropping those dew points as we head into tomorrow. Much better weather for your Wednesday. 70 degrees right now in Central Park and Bridgeport. And that means our temperatures are about 15 degrees below the seasonal average. 71 in Sussex right now, 68 for Islip. Here a look at rainfall totals from Sunday into Monday. Just absolutely soaking rainfall across the area. No surprise that we're still cleaning up from damage. We're still trying to drain flooding when you have 5, 6, 7, 8 inches of rainfall in a short period of time. Causes all sorts of problems. So we're not really adding to that any longer. I know the radar is showing a couple light areas of rain in parts of Dutchess County, maybe a couple sprinkles in Rockland County, but this isn't the kind of rain that really even adds to it. Just makes it feel misty in the air. Waiting for this flood advisory to expire near Danbury. That happens at 8:30. So the area of low pressure is moving on. Eventually it'll take the cloud cover with it as we clear out the gray after the sun sets tonight. So we will stay cool and cloudy through about midnight, and then overnight into daybreak tomorrow is when we finally get rid of the clouds. Do want to mention the potential for some patchy fog to develop well north and west of New York City through the overnight hours, but most of us just continue that clearing trend, and we'll see sun by the time it rises tomorrow morning. And tomorrow afternoon looks really pleasant. We're dropping dew points slightly, not to the point where it feels totally refreshing, but it is a noticeable improvement on today, and that means highs in the low 80s with sunshine. Should feel pretty pleasant out there tomorrow. Really beautiful day setting up for the middle of the week. But do you notice those wind direction arrows changing? Unfortunately, that means humidity makes a comeback into Thursday. So for tomorrow, dew points drop to the low to mid 60s. That's not too uncomfortable, but it's also not refreshing. By Thursday, we're back to a more tropical dew point in the low 70s, and we're also back to a scattered thunderstorm threat. For today, just a few lingering showers this evening. Tomorrow is mainly dry for the entire area, and then some drenching downpours with some scattered thunderstorms both Thursday and Friday. But nice to see we trend drier again into the weekend. So for the overnight hours tonight, mostly cloudy through about midnight. Then those clouds begin to break. So overnight into tomorrow morning, a few areas of fog, but becoming less humid and becoming clearer into sunrise tomorrow morning. Tomorrow looks great. Warmer and slightly less humid, more sunshine than clouds. Highs in the low 80s make for a nice day. And then tomorrow night is when the humidity starts to creep back up. Thursday, Friday, we're building back in both heat and humidity. So we will have a few scattered thunderstorms across the area. It's not quite as stifling and oppressive as the heat wave we had a few days ago, but it's still going to be steamy on Friday. Then we get to settle into a stretch of nice days into the start of
a coffee shop. Many of them are part of big chains, of course.
And this guy is a coffee drinker.
I keep them in
tradition in the village, and it still is today.
Puerto Rico has a couple of locations in the city, but they also ship worldwide. It's just, what a cool spot, isn't it?
And it's been there for, well, look, since I came to the city.
Yeah,
well, I was
been there
here
since
after 1907.
We should go there. No,
1907,
we should go there,
I came with you.
Get some coffee, and then we'll put on Dolly Parton's movie, and then we'll look for Miss Bookman
These are 3 people
in
that
it.
don't
Let's
need
do
coffee or caffeine. Thank you, Joelle.
Thank you, guys.
Still to come here.
There's a new viral TikTok trend involving the
bricks near 235 East 42nd Street. Inside, they found a compromised beam on the 21st floor, and fears of a possible collapse caused officials to evacuate nearby buildings and create a frozen zone from 4. Okay, thank you, Dollar. Well, we are finally drying out. Meteorologist Danny Beckstrom is in for Lee Goldberg with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast. Danny, I hope it's sunny skies skies that are coming.
Right? You know, today's so gray, so cloudy, so cool, but it was such a big normal. But your wish is mine for that 82-degree high tomorrow. 69 right now, reading rain on this graphic. A few sprinkles over New York City, but the organized steady showers are done in New York City, and thank goodness for that. Here's another look at the rainfall totals we saw between Sunday and Monday. Just absolutely incredible. When you see the destruction, it makes sense looking at these numbers, right? Danbury almost 6.5 inches, almost 7.5 near Montgomery, close to 3 for Islip down the shore, where we had so many issues, just under 4 inches for Belmar. But we were just showing you damaged Neptune City. Yeah, 5.74 inches of rain falling in a very short period of time. And in Peach Lake in Westchester, over 6 inches. I point that one out because just over the state line is where we're seeing that flood advisory still linger this evening. Radar looks active, but as we take out the satellite and focus in on the rain, it's really inconsequential. Couple spotty light areas of rain up in Dutchess County, maybe a sprinkle or two over Fairfield, but we're not really adding to the flood concerns. That flood advisory is actually a downgrade from a flood warning, now expiring at 8:30 near Danbury. Again, just picking up about 4 to 6 inches of rain in that area, so it makes sense that we're still trying to drain out that flood water. Area of low pressure is pulling away. Eventually it takes the cloud cover with it. So I know today was gray. It was gloomy out there with temps well below normal. But as we approach midnight tonight, we'll start to see the cloud cover break. And that means as we wake up tomorrow morning, sunshine. Such a better day ahead tomorrow once we make it through our last gloomy night with the cloud cover clearing and the dew points dropping. Some patchy fog going to be possible well north and west of New York City overnight. But tomorrow most of us do get sunshine. More sunshine than cloud cover for your Wednesday. Slightly less humid air with highs in the low 80s. That's more like it. Enjoy it because we're building back in both heat and humidity into the end of the week with highs returning to the upper 80s. I'll let you know when storm chances.
She's filed a lawsuit against all who she says.
Today, I think the best news I could give you is the
comment on pending litigation. That is the latest.
And finally, some improvement in the weather department. Tonight stays gloomy and cool with a few areas of drizzle. But by the time we wake up tomorrow morning,
Tanya Rivero, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
We're just thinking that.
Yeah,
so I'm like, gotta give him a steak.
Yeah.
Well, we got Danny here. Danny, so all of this is going to clear up?
Allegedly.
At some point.
Yes, you know, I've been looking forward to Wednesday for about 5 days now, knowing that Wednesday is our day where we finally get to see sunnier skies again and highs that don't feel so uncomfortably hot that we want to keep it indoors. We went straight from a brutal heat wave into drenching downpours that cause all sorts of problems. So nice to see tomorrow's kind of in the sweet spot where we'll see more sunshine, slightly less humid air, and highs in the 80s. But you just got to trust me on that. You'd never know it. Looking outside right now, 69 degrees, still reading as rain with some damp areas of drizzle in New York City. Most of the organized showers have moved on. I've been keeping a close eye on radar here, and most of the steady stuff is off to our north and east. But we're still unsettled with temps in the upper 60s, low 70s. To put it in perspective, our average high for today's date is 85. So unseasonably cool conditions to start the week. And obviously yesterday, a mess in Montgomery, almost 7.5 inches of rain. Danbury, almost 6.5 inches of rain. Down the Jersey Shore, we saw anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of rain, causing all sorts of issues. So we're trying to dry that out. But remember, it's not all bad. Once we get past the flooding problems and some of the damage that the heavy rain leaves behind, it's actually a good thing to see a little more moisture in our ground considering the drought outlook. We'll have that new drought monitor on Thursday. It should take into account the rain that we saw Sunday into Monday, so I'm hoping for improvement as we head toward Thursday. As for tonight, just a few light areas of rain, some misty drizzle up in Dutchess County and northern Fairfield County. We saw this flood advisory near Danbury. That was downgraded from a flood warning, but it doesn't expire until 8:30. For the most part, the area of low pressure is moving on, so it's taking the rain chance and cloud cover with it. And by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, we should be seeing more blue sky. It feels like it's been days since we've seen it. I think we're ready to kick out the cloud cover. We stay mostly cloudy and cool for your Tuesday evening, and then after about midnight, the clouds will begin to break. Some of our northernmost neighborhoods could develop some patchy fog through the overnight hours, so well north and west. Can't completely guarantee a clear start to the day tomorrow, but closer to the metro area, we will start the day with more sunshine, and then we'll see more sun than clouds tomorrow with highs in the low 80s. Not quite as humid tomorrow, not a totally refreshing feel, but coming off a couple very damp days, you will notice slightly drier conditions in the air. But wind direction shifts second half of the day tomorrow, and that will pump back in more humidity ahead of Thursday as both heat and humidity build into the end of the week. So for tomorrow, we're dropping to the 60s, which is still technically a touch on the humid side, but not as stifling. And then we're right back to dew points in the 70s Thursday to Friday as our high temperatures build as well. And that more humid air could support a few drenching thunderstorms both Thursday and Friday. But it's so good to see that the most active day of the week ahead is Friday, with just a 40% storm chance. For tonight, mostly cloudy, turns partly cloudy through the overnight hours. A little less humid into tomorrow. And then tomorrow looks like the pick of the week, in my opinion. Low 80s, a little less humidity. Mix of sun and clouds should be beautiful. We build back in that heat and humidity, and highs climb to the upper 80s with a thunderstorm threat for Friday. Sade and Joe.
Okay, thank you, Danny.
Thankfully, though, tomorrow is expected to be a much nicer day. The sun and warmer temperatures return. Meteorologist Danny Backstrom is in for Lee tonight and joins us now with the very latest. Danny.
Thank goodness for the improvement, Liz. We went right from a dangerous heat wave to flooding downpours. Today, gloomy and gray. We are ready to clear out the cloud cover and warm things up a bit, and that happens tomorrow. Tonight, it is still gloomy. 69 degrees right now after hitting a high of 70. That puts us 15 degrees below normal with the damp, drizzly conditions continuing. We're in the 70s in northern New Jersey, 70 degrees for Bridgeport, the east end of Long Island at 66. So these temps are well below average, and it just felt damp and drizzly all day long. That is to be expected when you have numbers like these. Looking at Sunday and Monday's rainfall totals, almost 7.5 inches in Montgomery. In Danbury, Connecticut, almost 6.5 inches. Makes sense that we're still trying to get rid of some of that flood water. The flood advisory continues there. The top totals closing in on 8.5 inches in Orange County, New York, Westchester, for Peach Lake, over 6 inches of rain. In comparison, the radar looks a whole lot better tonight, but not completely quiet. But as we take out the satellite, focus in on the rain, it's very light and spotty, the kind of drizzly rain that's not really adding to rainfall totals. Here's that flood advisory that Liz mentioned. This is near Danbury. It expires at 8:30 tonight, already being downgraded from a warning, so moving the right direction. It will continue to improve as this low moves out. It takes the cloud cover with it, but it takes until about midnight for that to happen. So cloudy and cool between now and midnight, and then approaching sunrise tomorrow morning, the cloud cover thins out and the dew points drop a little bit. It sets us up for what will probably be the pick of the week. Wednesday looks gorgeous, a nice day. More sunshine than cloud cover by the afternoon, slightly less humid, highs in the low 80s. But after that, we build back in both heat and humidity Thursday into Friday. So I'll let you know how high our highs climb in the full AccuWeather forecast coming up. Liz?
All right, Danny, thank you. Meanwhile, many areas are still cleaning up from all of the heavy rain and storm damage for the
rough start to the week, coming off that dangerous heat.
Yes.
We just need a boring forecast for a little while, and tomorrow is the best kind of, with highs coming in 70 degrees in New York City. That is 15 below normal, but an entire degree warmer than yesterday's high of 69. So moving in the right direction, and by tomorrow, temps that are a little more typical of this time of year. 72 in Morristown right now, 70 in Bridgeport and Sussex. The temperature today, not pleasant. The sky cover, not great either, but still a huge improvement on what we dealt with yesterday with the flooding downpours. Cloud cover hangs out until about midnight, and then check out those icons. Starting to shift to partly cloudy by sunrise tomorrow. That is huge improvement. We see lows in the 50s and 60s ahead of sunrise, and by the time the sun is up tomorrow, starting to see a little blue sky. By tomorrow afternoon, the rest of that cloud cover should clear out, and this is more like it. Highs tomorrow in the low to mid 80s, a lot more typical of this time of year, and should feel better with a slight drop in humidity. We're not wrapping up the humid air all at once, but certainly better than what we felt yesterday and today. Looking at satellite and radar as we clear out satellite and focus in on radar. I know it looks like there's still some lingering rain, but this is so light that it's really not even adding to much. So we are moving on from the steady showers, just waiting for this flood advisory to be allowed to expire at 8:30 this evening. That's near Danbury. That area saw 3 to 6 inches of rain, so it just takes a little time for that water to recede. But that will happen as this area of low pressure moves on. It takes the cloud cover with it, and things look better by tomorrow morning. Got to give you a heads up if you live well north and west of New York City. Some patchy fog is possible into tomorrow morning, so our northernmost neighborhoods could still start a little gray, but closer to the city, more sun by the time the sun rises tomorrow, and tomorrow afternoon looks good. More sunshine than cloud cover, highs in the low 80s, slightly less humid air. But you notice the wind direction shift. That'll pump back in a little more humidity by Wednesday night. We build back in both heat and humidity heading into Thursday. Tomorrow, it's not necessarily refreshing or comfortable, but those dew points are dropping to the 60s. We're back to the 70s by Thursday as the heat builds as well. That'll support a few spotty thunderstorms Thursday and Friday, but I like the look of this precip planner for the next few days. Tomorrow dry, and then just a few spotty thunderstorms Thursday. And good. Heat and humidity both return Thursday into Friday, supporting a few thunderstorms. And then finally, the boring forecast I'm looking for next week.
We like the boring. We will take the boring.
Into 80s and sunshine.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Danny, thank you.
No problem.
All right, I don't want to say speaking of boring because I'm not referring
listen,
to you.
we know. We want to make that clear.
We're talking about, it gets a little boring in your department now that the men are out.
Listen, we would have taken a boring win over Belgium last night.
We would have taken the boring
Instead,
win.
it was 39 years old. He's the oldest man in a major semi since Ken Rosewall back in 1977. He was 42 years old. So the Joker still getting it done.
Wow. Thank you, Ryan. World News Tonight with David Muir is coming up. Next, we'll see you tonight at 11 o'clock. Have a great night.